I love music, but like a lot of people love music. Um, I knew I wanted to write about fame, and I wanted to write particularly about contemporary fame, particularly about the experiences of famous women and the sort of way fame, I think, has shifted for, if you think about the way we thought about celebrities and like, not just the mid-century, but like even the 80s and 90s as kind of like these untouchable, glamorous, really aspirational things. And now today's celebrities are expected to be, especially women, sure, aspirational, but also accessible. And that is a really interesting tension to me. And so I knew I wanted to write about that. And so then it was a matter of, okay, in what sphere of fame do I want to put this story? And I wanted to write about an artist. I didn't want to write about a writer, but I wanted to write about something I felt close to, and songwriting. I'm a novelist. I understand writing poetry. I can teach myself to understand songwriting, and so that's where we ended up. Everyone in the world knows Dylan Reed. For 15 years, she has been a fixture on country and pop radio and in the celebrity discourse. She is defined by both her confessional lyricism and a kind of like best friend image. And it's this combination that has kept her fans super close, the label happy, and the media fed. But what no one knows, as you mentioned, is that she has this secret, one thing she's never written about before, that her childhood best friend Kelsey disappeared shortly before Dylan became famous. And that loss and the circumstances surrounding that loss and the nature of their friendship and Kelsey's influence on Dylan's music are things that she has always struggled with. And now the discovery of Kelsey's body at the start of the novel is going to force her to reckon with things that she's buried and hidden. The book is kind of structured. It's really is three timelines, right? It's the present, the arc of Dylan's career, which takes us from when she becomes famous at 17 all the way to the present day, and then the distant past, which is her friendship with Kelsey in high school. And I knew that I wanted to tell this book in albums, right? I knew that I wanted to structure the novel in the arc of Dylan's career. And so that was always there. And then the goal of the book is to, in part, show how do I demonstrate in a way that will make it really obvious for the reader what Dylan is working through is how much of my career and my artistry do I owe to this one person. And so what she's doing is she's going back through her career and looking for echoes of Kelsey in her music. And so that's how we're gonna write, like, content, that it's that Sondheim maxim, content dictates form, right? And so what I'm gonna do as the novelist is structure in albums, right? We've got her debut album. Also, that chapter also carries the story of Dylan and Kelsey first meeting. And so nesting the Kelsey story within the career arc made sense because that's what Dylan is doing in her own head. I do think that screenwriting has helped me write dialogue in my novels. I think that there are certain skills that, as you just mentioned, I think that there are things that are important in screenwriting that are traditionally not as important in novels, but if you can master them in screenwriting, they're going to make your novel better, right? So I think that structure is king in screenwriting, and obviously dialogue. And so I do think that both of those skills helped me write once more from the top. And I don't I don't I think my books tend to have a lot of dialogue. And if anything, I'm probably often trimming back a bit, because I have an impulse to write dialogue the way we talk, which is often circular, it's often repetitive, it's often people aren't saying exactly the thing that they mean to say the moment they need to say it. and so my conversations will run on, and then I need to take 3 pages and make it 1.5. So that's probably my challenge in writing dialogue.